Hello and welcome to my Elite Dangerous, the day-to-day grind, preparing for fleet carriers, for space legs, and for personal planetary bases. So we're going to, over the next few months, talk about all of them, because space legs, fleet carriers, we have a beta test tomorrow, April the 7th at 5 a.m. Central Time. Are they going to make me actually get up at 5 a.m.? Yep, they will. I'll set an alarm for 4:30. And so we'll have a beta test. You will have to have in your account at the time that they made the copy of the main account, the main instance, you had to have a minimum of 5 billion credits before you can participate as an owner of a fleet carrier tomorrow during beta. Now these are for PC-based players only, the one tomorrow. In May, there'll be one for PC and the console. So you'll have another opportunity to be a fleet carrier owner in May, and then in June, the update's supposed to be pushed and you can buy one for good. Tomorrow, let's say, sometimes it's weeks in the rear, so they might have made a copy 2 weeks ago of the system and have been working on getting all of the new updates in it and be ready for tomorrow. In that case, I would have 6.3 billion. So the first thing I would do, of course, is buy the fleet carrier with the 5. If it's 6.3, I've got 1.3 left. I will put about half of that into the account balance of the fleet carrier, because you have a balance like mine right now is 8.439, and by the end of this video it'll be 8.5, and the fleet carrier has a balance, and that's for its upkeep. It's a minimum of 10 million credits a week, and that could actually be as high as 25 million a week. So this is not cheap. And by Inera, because they pull the API from the main server, they say only 3% of players have 5 billion or more. So only 3% are going to be able to participate as owners tomorrow in the fleet carrier beta. Again, as owner. Now everyone else, if they can talk someone into letting them land on their carrier, which there's going to be, I'm sure, some, that it's open to everybody and everybody can try. Now at this point, mine's going to be none, so I'm the only one that will land on it, because it's going to be my home station, and kind of like a motorhome. It's going to travel around the galaxy, and I'm not going to have all the services that one that's open to the public will have. Mine will have my modules. It will have my ships on it, and it's in the cargo area. We'll probably have roughly 1,000 tons of tritium in it, while the fuel tank, I'll top it off, so it'll take another 500 tons to top it off, because the fleet carrier comes with 500 tons of tritium fuel. So, need to get to my notes. I use a VR headset, so I have to lift up the headset to look. The fleet carrier is, the owners will be individuals, not groups. Now owners can invite their squadrons and their friends, They can invite everyone, or they can invite none. Like mine is for personal use. It's not really for public use. The fleet carrier has a 500 light-year jump range. Like Sothis and Ceos from all the other stations in the bubble, is about 550 light years. So it's going to take 2 jumps. The first one will be about 500, and the next one will be 50, 75, based on how short the first one is, because it can't go over 500. And there's an hour ramp up time, and there's an hour cool down time. So it would take 4 hours just of ramp up and cool down to get to where I'm planning for it to live. Sis left, and I'm going to show you where I plan for it to live. Sis left. Sis left. Sometimes it gets hard. Voice attack gets hard of hearing. Okay. Let me turn sideways. I do have 2 systems marked, and these systems have multiple planets with pristine icy rings. And then you got Sothis and Ceos that I run all my cargo missions, and I've made probably 90% of my 8.4 billion, and I probably have assets including all of the modded modules that I have in storage and everything, probably another billion or 2. 90% of that was made here between Sothis and Ceos. This one I'm going to have to scan to see it. Because it says there's no system map available, so I'll actually have to jump there through a plot route and run Discovery Scanner in it to get my destination. Now this one we can go into and look at. Now these are uninhabited systems, because I do not like interdiction, so I want uninhabited systems to do my mining work. So we'll see, if I came to this planet or this system, I would have it orbit the first ringed planet, either it or one of its moons. And the first moon would be fine too. I mean, either way. I'm starting to think the moon would work better because you don't have to avoid the rings. So it's probably going to be the first moon, the closest moon to it, to the planets where my fleet carrier is going to orbit. See, what's nice about the fleet carriers, you can send it to a planet, moon, or star for it to circle. So that's pretty cool. So probably this evening I'm going to go to the first one that needs to have a Discovery Scanner, and after I unload all the missions, go there and just run a Discovery Scanner to see the layout of the planets. One thing that is disappointing a lot of the players is there's no universal cartographics in the fleet carrier. And that's kind of odd, because if you go into contacts, there is going to be bounty vouchers that you can turn in on your fleet carrier. That's just a data thing. And so is universal cartographics. So hopefully in the future, Frontier will rethink that and allow universal cartographics to be included in the fleet carrier. Now, I'm a trader, explorer, and I understand and I agree with that. Now, like I said, there'll be 12 or 13 systems that will sail fleet carriers. And in here, in the contacts, they will be a fleet carrier vendor that you will see at one of those stations. And you'll click on that, and click on it, and you'll get a showroom, which will describe all the different fleet carriers. They're all based off of the same, but there is a default version, there is a minor version, there is a trader version, and there's an explorer version. My guess is I'll probably go with the default. Now, that fleet carrier will be orbiting something, the one that you buy. It will not be at the station. They do not dock at the station. Now, I wish, if you've ever seen the big mega ships and them building like a warship, next to the station there is like a dock for those huge ships to pull into. I'm hoping someday some stations will have a dock that you can pull into, and you can refuel just by pulling into that dock and have a screen come up, and it allows you to refuel or buy tritium. So I'm hoping in the future that's what we see. When you land on your fleet carrier, I'm in station, New Dawn station, and you see the services. You're going to have a screen something like this. It'll be a little bit different, but it will be fleet carrier management. So that'll pop up. Sys right. You will also have, see, this is a row of 3, this is a row of 2, but if you've got a fleet carrier, this becomes a row of 3. The middle one will be fleet carrier management, just like the one, if you land on your fleet carrier, that one pops up. It'll be exactly the same. You can completely manage your fleet carrier from anywhere in the galaxy. You don't have to be docked to your fleet carrier to manage it. You can manage it from anywhere in the galaxy. So I think that's pretty cool. I like that. So let's see what I'm missing. There is 16 landing pads. At the beginning of this video and at the end of this video, there's 2 images of the fleet carriers. And you will get 16 pads to land on. There's 8 small pads, 4 medium pads, and 4 large pads. There's a tritium depot button when you land, and you can transfer tritium to the storage or to the fuel tank. Well, tomorrow I'm going to do both. I'm going to top off the fuel tank of 500 tons of tritium, and I'm going to add another ton or 1,000 tons, or between 1,000 and 2,000 tons. I'm going to add into the storage, mainly to see how all that's going to work and how you can transfer from storage to get the fuel tank and all of that through your console, your fleet carrier management. Now, I mentioned before there is a 10 million credit upkeep fee per week. That could be as much as 25 million per week based on the services that you have. You can have a commodities market. You will have have contacts. You could have refuel, repair, restock, remote workshop, outfitting, shipyard, and my guess is we'll have an advanced maintenance. And you'll have crews that you have to manage, oversee. They have their own managers, but you can fire and hire different ones if you don't like the way they're managing your fleet carrier, and that's kind of worrisome. So there's going to be some bad ones. So we'll see how that goes. And many questions that are asked to Frontier, they say, well, wait till the beta and you'll see. Play with it, you'll find out, or we'll find out. and you can deposit money back and forth between your fleet carrier and your main balance. So you'll have two balances. It's one for your fleet carrier and one for your personal balance. You can only have one fleet carrier. You can't have multiples. You can also deposit cargo and commodities and things like that into your ship. That's part, and everything like your services, they take up weight inside that 25,000 ton cargo space. So you'll have a meter that winds down as you keep adding services, and you know how much extra of the 25 you have to unload cargo or unload tritium onto your fleet carrier. If you're into illegal stuff like imperial slaves or alcohol in some systems or narcotics, there is a secure trading, and that means you cannot be fined or destroyed because of having illegal material. So my guess is they cannot scan your fleet carrier. Now, they did mention it can affect your reputation in the system and in the overall superpowers like Federation, Empire, and Alliance. And it's probably because if they catch ships that have landed on your carrier and leave your carrier with illegal stuff, and they catch enough of them, your reputation will go down in those systems and in the major powers. But they cannot fine you, and it's like lawless status on bounties. So if you destroy a ship or a skimmer that has lawless, you do not get fined for doing that. It's kind of like the illegal cargo. It's kind of lawless, but they can't fine you for it. There is a livery, however you want to say it. And let me show you my ship, one of my ships. Many of you have seen my Python. It's in a cobalt and it has side fins and a spoiler on the back. And now out in space or on a planet, that cobalt really glistens. It's pretty sharp, but in the hangar it's not as much. But my cutter is the same way. It's cobalt and it has side fins and has the back spoiler. And I'm hoping the fleet carrier can be in cobalt with side fins and a spoiler in the back. So we'll see. But I'd like to have it uniform between all of my assets. Let's say you buy the fleet carrier in June, and by July you say, I just can't afford the upkeep on this thing and I want to turn it back in. Well, it's called decommissioning. So for a week, it takes a whole week to decommission. And during that time, you cannot use that fleet carrier. And it probably costs that week of upkeep when you're decommissioning. Now, you'll be letting your crews go, so the extra, and you'll be shutting down all the services before you decommission. So it's probably the 10 million minimum that you get charged, but they will refund 4 billion credits of the 5 billion. So you're going to lose 1 billion credits. And last year and the year before, when they talked about fleet carriers, they said that there'd be support ships. They took that out. There's no more support ships. The support ships are yours. So my fleet carrier, my Python will be a support ship, and my cutter will be a support ship. I have the original Sidewinder, but I'm not even for sure I'm going to put the Sidewinder on the fleet carrier as of this time. I just don't see why it should be taking up part of that 25,000 storage area, so I probably won't put that Sidewinder on it. Okay. And what I understand about the space legs and the planetary personal bases is they should be coming out toward the end of 2020. Also, they're probably going to be part of a DLC, so it's an additional charge, just like Horizon was. You had to pay extra. You had Elite Dangerous, then you had Horizons, and now you're going to have this update by the end of the year that's probably a charged thing. So they're going to charge you for those updates, is kind of what we understand. It'll be a separate charge. So as more information comes out about the space legs and the personal bases, I'll let you know. And what that's for, though, where you can actually be playing the game setting down, but you can make your avatar get up and walk around your ship, even exit the ship in the station and walk around the station. There'll probably be coffee shops and gift shops and all that kind of stuff. And where you see in some of the stations they have these parks, you can probably take a walk in the park next to the fountains and things. So that's what Space Legs is. And personal bases, planetary bases, you'll be able to get out of your ship and walk around inside, and you might even be able to wear a spacesuit outside of the station. So, or be able to get out of the SRV and walk around. And some of that would be really cool. So as we hear more information, they're very tight-lipped. There was a leak of information last year, I guess from an employee or something at Frontier, that leaked some of the information about Space Legs and the planetary base, personal bases, and other things. And some of the other things have already been announced and released. So most think that that's credible information. So as information comes out, I will share it with you. That's why this is preparing for fleet carriers, space legs, and personal planetary bases. And this also is about credits. Everything in this game is about credits. I'm at 8.439, but by the end of this video I will be at 8.5. So every 50 million I'll bring another video. And I have to deliver all these missions, sys left, before the end of day. And the reason I have to do this before the end of day, because tomorrow morning is going to be Fleet Carrier Beta. So I'm down to 10 missions, and we're going to Sothis Mining and pick up 2 or 3 more, and we're going to deliver those. And by the time I quit for the day, I have to have delivered all 10, because first thing in the morning when I wake up, I'm going to try to get up at 4:30 Central, and the beta starts at 5. I plan on being on at 5 with my recording going. I record everything now, all my playtime, and when I get into the beta, I'm going to record. And throughout the day, I'm going to try to publish some of those recordings. Now, I'm going at it green too. It's my first look. It's the unboxing, you could say. I don't know what it's going to be about when I get into the beta. I don't even know what stations, the 12 or 13 stations that are going to be selling it yet. So got to find that. I'm hoping one in Sothis Ceos is, because we're so far away from the other stations. I'm hoping Sothis and Ceos is one. Systems have a station that sails the fleet carrier, because then I don't have very far to send it. Maybe only about 20 light years, and that would be great, because I will probably spend the first beta here at Sothis and Ceos. Now the one in May, we might go somewhere else with it, but the first one will just be here. But you'll get to see as much as I can learn about it. You'll get to see it. So let's get to Sothis Mining, and pick up those cargo missions and deliver them, because that's part of this video too. Is this left? I already have the destination plugged in, and we have fuel, so let's get going. Make sure you press that subscribe button in the lower right hand corner of the video. That helps me with YouTube, and after I get to a certain minimum of subscribers, they will help support. Now, it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to a YouTube channel. So please subscribe to my channel. It doesn't cost you anything, but it sure helps me. So I ask you to consider, this auto launching, at times they'll hit things. Underneath the videos, you'll see our ship and the rings around it. It just hit that light. It's really bad. At least I have good shields. Underneath the video, at the bottom of the description, you'll see how to donate. So please consider donating. And there's different ways, and no matter how small or large, consider donating. Underneath the video to the left, you'll see my YouTube channel, GFM_RDG, where I have over 500 videos. And we try to cover everything. The engineers, how to unlock them, where to get the material to unlock the engineers. We land at the station of the engineer, and we go through all the modules based on our ship that engineer mods, and we show you how to mod them. And somebody's getting attacked outside the station right now. Looks like it's right here too. Oh, it's a little further out, but they're shooting somebody. So, as they do from time to time. Yeah, we're in the auto launch process, so we can't turn around. So I guess they finished destroying them, because they're kind of circling around. Maybe they're scavenging their cargo. They're probably scavenging the cargo is probably what they're doing.
Submit a request before landing.
Frameshift drive charging.
So we're going to Sothis Mining to pick up cargo. I do appreciate everyone that watches. We've had over 2,000 individuals watch.
3, 2, 1, engage.
It's over 2,000 separate individuals that have watched our videos. And over 200 hours have been watched, and I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate all of the subscribers that we have been able to get. It's not nearly enough based on the high demand of YouTube. They keep raising the minimum, and it's extremely difficult to get support from YouTube for a small publisher. So I need all the help I can get. It doesn't cost you anything. All you have to do is subscribe, which is free, and watch videos, which is free. So if you would do those things, it would really help me out, and consider donations would even help me now, not just in the future. Like I said, we have like engineering videos, gathering the materials, like at Dab's Hope and James and Crash Site. We have videos on that. Encoded materials, manufactured materials, raw materials. We go to the material traders and we trade materials to get the materials we need for the engineers. Just a few days ago, we were inside the station, and an anaconda was right in front of us while we were in queue, like this last station, and they just opened fire in the station. The station opens fires on this anaconda and blows it to pieces. So in our YouTube channel, just type in anaconda destroyed, and you'll see that video. So you need to watch that video. And we have all kinds of videos. I mean, it's been since January. I've recorded everything. I've put in about 1,000 hours just since January for you to watch. Well, not hours of maybe videos, but I have recorded all of them, and I have pieced some of them together for you to see. Sis left. So there's plenty of videos for you to watch. And Guardian Surface Sight, I've got a Guardian FSD booster that added 10.5 light years to my jump range. I'm at over 45 light years when I'm loaded, and without any cargo or modules, extra modules, I have 52, an unladen jump range. So watch that Guardian Surface Sight. You learn how to get the blueprints and go to the I believe it's the technology trader, and you get the FSD booster. But you'll see in that video of what is required to get the FSD booster. I have like 8 FSD boosters of different classes. So I've got 72 out of the 120 stored modules. Most of those are modded from the engineers. So check that out. I'm going to transfer those modules into the fleet carrier plus my cutter into the fleet carrier, and that'll be in the videos that we create tomorrow. And both of those sites that I had showed you earlier have icy rings, because we're going to do some mining too, some asteroid mining, both surface and deep core. I haven't done deep core in the past. I've only done surface mining, but we'll learn how to do some deep core mining. Sis left.
Docking request granted.
I have some asteroid mining videos in my YouTube channel too, so just put in asteroid and you'll find them. I know there's at least one in there. I at times forget what I did last year and what I've done this year, and all the videos are from this year, as of the 1st of January.
Landing gear deployed.
That's why I need your support, because it is a major undertaking to do over 500 videos. It's like when I'm not doing videos, I can
Docking successful. Engines
gain
disengaged.
over 500 million credits in a day. But while doing the videos, I can only do 200 to 250 in a day. That's why I mention that you should be able to do the 5 billion in about 10 days if you spend 5-6 hours a day on it, if you grind. And this is a grind game. It's all about grinding. So, is this right? Okay, so we're empty. Sis left. Let's carry some cargo. Sis left. Sis left. And sometimes the voice attack is it's frustrating too. Just like there's things in Elite Dangerous that are broken, there's also things in voice attack that are broken. And in my Oculus Rift S, there's things there that are broken. So we're going to Babbage. My cutter is there. So if I can remember, I'll show it to you. There are some of the videos in the last few days where we were at Babbage, and I did show the cutter. So if you back up some of these videos, you'll see when we go to Babbage, there are times that I do show the cutter. Okay, boom, 80 of 120 palladium. Right there, Babbage. 80 of 120. Okay, cis left, cis left, Babbage, Boone, 88 Palladium. And it might be my allergies why the voice attack has started having so much trouble. I did try to train it again to my voice in the speech recognition in Windows, because that's where you're supposed to train it, and it's not much better since. Cis left, okay, we'll probably have to find, let's see, cis right, cis right. We can put on another 152. So we need to try to find a good Babbage of about 152 units. So let's look for just Palladium, less than 150, and see if there's a Babbage. Here's a 3 Babbage at 1.7. I always like those. You get those by donating to the factions. See the reputation for each of the factions is max. That's how you get the best. You get those 10.5s for Palladium, and you get the 2s and 3s and all of that. 2s and 3s are really because you donated, but you even for gold 120 is 5.9. 2 of silver, it's to Brunel. I'll take them if they're to Babbage. Okay, so we'll look for gold. Gold pays the next best, Brunel. Looking really at all gold and palladiums. Make sure I didn't miss, like if there's a one larger than 150, I'll go ahead and take it, and we'll do a partial. And on the next round, we'll search for just any kind other than gold or palladium. See, there's a 56. There's a Babbage. 56 a Gallite. It pays less than $1 million, but right now we just need to fill up the cargo hull. Cis right and 93. So we can take up to 93 more. There's a Babbage. It's 84, so that looks pretty good. We're probably going to stop there. Is this right? Yeah, we're 9 short on units. We'll go with that. Is this left? We're at 13, so we want to be under 10 right now. So we're not going to take on any more missions for right now. Again, by the end of day, I need to have delivered all our missions because of doing the fleet carrier beta tomorrow. I want to spend, or my whole focus, I want to be on the fleet carriers, and we'll be recording that too. Just making sure our recording was still good, and it's still working just fine. So let's put in Babbage as our destination. And I'm not the best game player, or not even an incredible game player. I have double elites, but I don't have triple elites, and there's some people that have triple, where they have an elite status in combat, and combat's my weaker area. Now, low risk like skimmers and stingers, yeah, I can take those on. Yeah, that doesn't bother me one bit. So we really only need 10.5, 10 and a half, and we will get to 8.5. So sys left, see how much we got. That's 7.4. That'd be 7.9, 11.9. So we're already above it, just with the first two. 11.9, 12, let's say, 13, 14, say 14.8 roughly. Yep, that's about 14.8, and all we need is about 10.6 is all we need. So we got more than enough. Sys up. It's usually just most of it's usually enemies. We got plenty of enemies. Just checking my day job, which I'm on call 24/7, 365. I just have to stop when they need something and take care of it. So let's get to Babbage. And that's where the cutter right now is at. And if I remember, I'll show it to you. About every other time I remember when we're at Babbage, and I show it in the video, so you can go back probably over the last.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, if you look through the videos over probably the last week, you'll find several instances when we're at Babbage, and I show you, I know there's at least two, that I show you the cutter
3, 2, 1, engage.
in the cobalt colors and the side fins and the spoiler, just like the Python. Be sure to press that subscribe button in the lower right hand corner of the video. It helps me with YouTube, and it doesn't cost you a thing. And you get notified when I do more videos if you subscribe. So, and that's really what it's for, is though you get notified when I do more fleet carrier, space legs, and planetary videos, the personal planetary based videos. It's going to be a busy year for content if they come out with all this stuff. And my videos, the viewership is up by like 600% just since March the 26th, when they confirmed fleet carriers would be coming out by June, and there would be betas. So tomorrow will be big. We'll probably hit 1,000% after we put out some fleet carrier videos. We have 3 interdictors at least that are coming up. Check my videos out where I have 7 interdictions, and just one in the last probably 5 or 6 days. I had a 7 and one Super Cruise run. Should check that out. And that's what really got me started doing videos, because I was told that I was lying when I said I had 6 interdictions. So I had to prove that I wasn't lying, and now I have 2 7s. And it wouldn't be really surprise me if I have an 8 at some point. You know, we're going to have probably 5. I haven't counted them, but we have 2, this one and another one still. So it's going to be 4 or 5 at least. Might even have more than that after we get finished. They chained. We defeated one and another one popped in right after it. And see if I get knocked out of Super Cruise when there's like 4 or 5, they all come down shooting at you. So that's not a good thing. That's why I don't submit and try to fight them, because for one, my combat skills are lacking. So I can kill skimmers and stingers, but when it comes to other ships, that's a whole different story. Sis left. Yeah, after the first wave, I usually turn on Super Cruise Assist. Now, I will move away from the planet and try to slow down if one pops. They use their superpowers and pop in right behind me, because no one else can pop in any place in the solar system or any place in the galaxy that they just want to pop up, except for pirates, because they got superpowers that nobody else has. Yeah, I would like a little more realism and a little less fantasy. You know, since all the developers were all born and raised in Somalia, I guess that's what you have to expect. They're all pirates. So but I can't change anything. I complain sometimes to the Frontier, and they just say it's working as intended. So of course they don't listen to me. So, and they don't listen to most of the players. Go on the forum and ask, does Frontier listen to the players? And most of them will say no. The very first thing I want to do is show you the cutter, because I always forget.
Romeo Golf India. Welcome to this federal facility.
Sis left.
Please observe all standard docking procedures.
See, I intend it to be kind of a side thing, but I just keep forgetting. And it's usually the pirates that cause me to forget.
Access approved. Proceed to landing pad 2-2. Automated docking confirmed.
Now tomorrow with the fleet carriers, you're going to see the Python and the cutter quite a bit, because they're going to be on the fleet carrier, and most of what we do is going to be centered around the fleet carrier for the next few days or few weeks. So, and yes, we'll come back after the beta is over and we'll do some trading. So we might go back and forth between the beta and the main profile. Now, I'm not a core mining expert. For one, I haven't done it before, but I'm sure I can figure it out. But I have done abrasive surface mining with abrasive mining tools and with just regular lasers. And sometimes I think just the regular mining lasers work just as good or better. So we'll be doing, we'll have both of those on board, the abrasion
Landing sequence completed. Deploying ground crew.
and the regular mining lasers. But then one time we'll try the surface mining. Okay, we need about 10.6. But before we do that, so I don't forget again, because I'll forget. Again, this is the Python in the Cobalt with the fins and the spoiler. Go to the shipyard. I have 2 ships, the original Sidewinder. Now, oh, I can't use it because of cargo racks and stuff. I was going to show my Sidewinder too. It's because I have cargo racks in the cutter. Why I can do that? I can show it. And see, on the inside, it is swanky. You have 1 chair there, you have 1 chair there, so you got 4. And then, when we go look at the outfitting, there's 2 more. It's got 4 extra seats for crew members. It's a pretty swanky ship, but it is big. Look how big that thing is. And you got on the wings, you have gunners. And then on each wing, and then you got 2 seats here in the cockpit. So it's in the Cobalt, just like the Python, and it has side fins, and has the spoiler on the back. So if I can get that on the fleet carrier, I will, just to keep it uniform. But I do like the cutter. I don't like it in interdictions though. It's not that much fun. So we're going to use the Python. We'll unload. I just wanted to do it before I forgot. But like I said, I'm probably not going to move the Sidewinder over to the fleet carrier.
Incoming mission critical message.
I'm sure it doesn't take up much weight. But why? Right at the moment, I can't think of any reason I would ever use it. I don't remember using it since I got the Python, or since I got the ship above that one. See, we're already over 8.545. So we met our goal. And another reason I wanted to show you the cutter, because I'll forget the next time we're here. Is this right? I try to show it every time and then I forget. Okay, because I showed the we'll show the Sidewinder too. It's not in Cobalt, and it doesn't have extra fins, and it's just really tight fit. There it is. Yeah, I don't have weapons on it either. None of my ships have weapons. So, yep. That's it. So, Python. I like the Python. Well, I love the Python. That's my main ship. But I do like the cutter. If there was no interdictions, I would use the cutter a whole lot more. Okay, now I'm in the right ship. Is this right? Well, we need to get back over to Sothis Mining so we can end this video and prepare to... I'll deliver some more. And when I get closer to the 8.5, we'll do another video. Is this left? But if I can do it, you can do it. That's what I always say, because I'm not the best game player in the world. Far from it. So, but that's why I like to have videos, because if I can do it, you can do it. And anybody can do it. Is this up? Make sure you press that subscribe button in the lower right hand corner of the video. Helps me with YouTube. It doesn't cost you a dime. It doesn't cost you anything. But it really eventually would help me out with YouTube. And you'll be notified when I produce more videos.
Docking clamps retracted. Depart when ready, Commander.
And I think people like to watch my videos because they know if I can do it, they can do it. Because, you know, I'm definitely not the best game player. But I try to make them as informative as possible. And show that you can do it. You can grind out 5 billion and get a fleet carrier by, say, May if you don't have one by now. So you can do it.
Landing.
Frameshift drive charging.
So we're going to get back to Sothis Mining, load, and that'll be the end of this video, and then I'll run some missions and be back at the next 50 million.
1. Engage.
Underneath the video, in the description, at the bottom of that, you'll find ways to donate. Please consider donating. Underneath the video to the left, you'll see our YouTube channel page, GFM_RDG, where you'll find probably videos on about almost everything of Elite Dangerous. There is a Guardian Skimmer, which is different from the Guardian Sentinel. And I hear that the Guardian Skimmer is very rare. Many have said that in all the years that they've played, they've only seen it a few times. And I have a video on it. You should check that one out too. In the Thargoid surface site with the scavengers. And I believe, and I have heard, that if you kill the scavengers, you get ARXs for it. So I didn't kill them while I was there. I just collected the meta alloys, but they're pretty creepy. They're a mechanical scavenger, so you should see it. And I have a playlist on Ultimate Fishing Simulator. That's very interesting. It's very neat. I really enjoy playing that. Is this left? And I have a playlist of VR pinball where the pinball tables come alive. That's pretty wild too. I like VR games. It's my favorite. It's really the only ones I do videos on are the VR ones. And we have been interdicted many times here at Sothis. It's real off and on. We'll get interdicted like almost every time, and then we'll go for like 7, 8, 10 trips with no interdiction. So I don't know what the rhyme reason for when they do and when they don't. Lose an interdiction, max speed, boost as often as you can. You can move side to side and up and down and use heat sinks if they have hit you and raised your temperature so you can't get back into Super Cruise. So the heat sink will bring your temperature to 0%, and then you can get back into Super Cruise. Says left. And I have been knocked out maybe a handful of times.
Docking request granted.
And like those ships that try to beat us to the pad, there's times it's every other time. And then there's time like 10 times and they don't do it. So I don't know what the rhyme or reason there is either.
Landing gear deployed.
But I do appreciate you watching our videos, and I hope you will feel like watching more. And when you subscribe so you get notified when I produce more
Docking
videos,
successful.
especially
Engines
of the
disengaged.
space legs and the planetary personal bases. And we'll be producing another video in within around 40 more million we'll produce another one. So I mean, you can tell that balance just keeps going up and up and up. So it's a nice place to do cargo missions, except for the interdictions. So until next time, thank you for watching.